You know that feeling when you want to support your club but also be realistic? Well, Finland have a chant for that. It is Haviten Kenelle Pitikin. The rough translation being, we lost against the team we expected to lose against. So yes, it's a bit pessimistic, but you gotta respect the honesty. Let's talk about this interesting Group B that Finland is a part of, and we'll get to them last as they are the underdog. You've got Belgium as favorites to win the group, minus 138 odds-wise, so a little bit better than 2-1 favorites to win the group. They've been ranked the #1 team in the world for a while now, and with good reason. They went undefeated in their qualifying group, 10 games, 10 wins, 40 goals scored, 3 against, so utter domination, and hopefully Russia didn't let that get in their head since they were also in that qualifying group with Belgium and finished in second. You might recognize basically every player on this roster because they're all playing for huge clubs and most have been with Belgium for a number of years now. The biggest injury question will be Kevin De Bruyne after his nasty head collision in the Champions League final. We'll see if he's fit to play. That'd be a huge boost for them if he is. Still very much one of the best players in the world today. You've got Hazard on the wing, Lukaku up top, Tielemans, Dendoncker, Carrasco, Witsel in the middle. A lot of options in the midfield and an aging but solid back line in Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Vermaelen. A lot of tough names, but solid players. And the always steady Courtois in goal. So all around, solid team. Belgium do play a 3-4-3 that they're comfortable in and have been playing for a number of years now under Roberto Martinez. Defensive-minded wingback on the right and more attacking wingback on the left. I really think this is the last tournament for Belgium alongside the 2022 World Cup where they will have most of these players in their primes or just at the edge of their primes and getting much older. So this is the time for them to make something happen if it's going to happen at all with this group of core players for Belgium. They should make it out of this group with ease, finishing in first. And many are picking them as favorites to win the tournament alongside Portugal and France. So if they can keep up with the youth of Portugal and France over the course of the tournament, they'll have a really strong shot to do so. Second team in the group, Russia, who has gotten knocked out in the group stage of the last 2 editions in the Euros. They had a strong showing in the 2018 World Cup on home soil, but had a couple of veterans retire after that tournament, meaning that they're somewhat turning the page here. The team they're taking to the Euros has some quality, and with players like Dzuba, Mario Fernandes, and their young star, Alexander Golovin, they can go toe-to-toe with some of Europe's best, at least with a couple of those players. They like to play in a 4-2-3-1 structure, and that's what we'll expect to see here as well. They love crossing to their forwards, playing more direct, and pressing pretty high defensively. So you definitely won't see them playing a lot of tiki-taka. Ultimately, the depth in the squad is their main issue, because beyond the first 11, they don't have star caliber, world caliber players. So that might prove to be their downfall if they do make it out of the group or later on in some of these matches when players are starting to get tired. I think they'll consider it a failure if they don't make it out of the group, but it really is a team that's looking to turn the page and form a new identity. So that's what I'm looking to see here from Russia. Denmark also had a strong qualifying campaign, and they'll be fighting Russia for that second spot in Group B. They have Premier League players littered throughout their squad in keeper Schmeichel, defenders Christensen and Vestergaard, and midfielder Højbjerg for Tottenham. They also have other players playing for top-level teams in the world right now, like Martin Braithwaite for Barcelona and Eriksen for Inter Milan. Their biggest weakness will be scoring and putting goals past opponents because they don't really have ultra-reliable forwards up top who have been doing it for the national team in the past. So their strong defense and midfield experience is what they'll be counting on to keep them in games and hopefully squeak out a couple of 1-0, 2-0 victories and help them get out of this group. They play in a pretty flexible 4-3-3, and we can expect them to try and possess in the midfield versus teams like Russia and Finland, who we'll get to in a sec. So definitely counting on Schmeichel to make some jaw-dropping saves. He's probably their best 1v1 player on the team, if we're being honest. So excited to watch Denmark play a little bit of ball in the Euros. Lastly, Finland, a team that would never have even dreamed about being here 5 years ago, because all of a sudden, under their new coach, Markku Kanerva, who was a former school teacher, has really given them a new spark and a new life. They've qualified for this Euro tournament, which is massive in itself for a country like Finland. We'd all love for this tournament to be the Teemu Pukki show, if we're being honest with ourselves. He's Finland's darling. He's their icon, and he'll be starting up top for Finland. Glenn Kamara is a workhorse in the middle, key piece for Scottish side Rangers. Look for him to make an impact if they want to do anything in this tournament. Their strength is that they're extremely organized with a 5-3-2 formation, and they'll need every bit of that organization to get any good results here. So they consider each other as good teammates, friends. Everything you read online suggests they'll just be happy to be here, hanging out with each other, being on the pitch, playing soccer, but it will really be an uphill climb to finish anywhere but fourth in this Group B. Key matchups: Denmark versus Russia in the final game of Group B on June 21st. I think that'll determine who takes home second place in the group and makes it out of the group automatically into that round of 16. And I think Denmark will edge Russia both in that matchup and overall in the group. So I'm taking Belgium to finish first and Denmark to finish second. Let us know who you think will be coming out of Group B in the Euros 2020.